Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Orchids, etc. Today we'll be doing a care collab on slipper orchids. Um, the participators are Hello Plant Lovers, The Orchid Saga, Ed's Orchids, Karen's Orchids, Hillbilly Orchids, Fernanda Necescento Orchids and Succulents, Map by Nature, Trisha's Orchids Life, Tropical Plants, Finland, Orchids by the Lake, Mary G. Orchids and More, Beauty of Orchids and Plants, Dee Dee's Blooms, Danielle's Orchids Ranch, The Right Path, Joyous Orchids, Toki World Mark, and the last but not least, Ninja Orchids herself, Nina. Um, Before I go on, I want to thank Nina for inviting me to do this care collab with other orchid lovers. Um, Now, what I want to say about my orchids, especially this slipper orchids, they're very easy to take care of. They're not really fussy. As long as you get a very healthy orchids, such as the slipper orchids, um, they do require a little bit of care. And the way I take care of mine, I water it during the winter once a week. In the spring and summer, when it's a little hotter and it is drier, it does require to be watered more than once a week. I try to water it twice a week, but before I do that, I just, stick my finger or lift a pot to see if it needs water. And a lot of times, if your pot or you stick your finger into the media, you can tell if it needs water. And these type of orchids, they don't like to dry out too long. So when you water it, make sure you water it thoroughly, and they like to be evenly moist. They don't like to be saturated. As far as fertilizing, in the winter, I do fertilize it once a week. In the spring and summer, same thing, once a week. From what I learned from this slipper orchids, they're not heavy feeder, unlike other orchids, like such as Phalaenopsis. They're in the heavy feeding side. This one, they grow really slow. That's why they're not required to be fertilized as much. Now, as far as lighting goes, they do love bright light, even though it says on the internet and other orchids um, encyclopedia, I guess you can call it, um, they're low light orchids. But in my experience, they love bright light, not so much indirect sunlight, but very bright. Now, this orchid here, I used to have three. Now I'm only down to one due to the fact that I lost the other two recently to mealybugs. By the time I got around to looking at them carefully, they were pretty much gone. I couldn't save them because they were deep into the crown. So this is the only one I have. Now this one, I have it for a year now, I think, or 2 years. I haven't gotten to have this one to rebloom for me, but when I did receive her, she was in spike, so she did bloom, and I believe her bloom lasted, um, I think 3 to 4 months. I think I got her from Carmela's Orchids. A lot of you guys, I know you have ordered from them. And the other two that I ordered it from Orchids.com, better known as Norman's Orchids. So I had them for almost 4 years. The 3 years that I did grow them, they did bloom 3 times, the whole 3 times that I got them, and they love the brightness that I gave them, the lighting, and both of them, all three of them, they're model leaves. This one is model leaves also, and this is the latest growth that I have, the fan. And so, like I said, I haven't able to get this one to spike for me, but this one I got it really. She was really healthy looking too, so I'm glad this one I have. But I know I need to reorder the other two that I lost. The one that I lost, one was it was maroon color, like a reddish maroon with a striping on the petals, and she was called American Beauty. And this one, let me show you the name of this one before I forget. This is the name of it, this particular orchid. This one has a pinkish whitish color. I don't know if I have the picture, but if I can find it, I will attach it to this video. If not, when it does bloom again, I'll give you guys a short clip of it when she decides to bloom. But anyway, as far as lighting goes, she loves bright light, not so much indirect sunlight. As far as temperature goes, she can handle as low as 50 degrees, but I don't think she can handle any lower than that. Otherwise, you know, she'll have damage on her leaf. But I haven't gotten that far. But she's mainly indoor. Right now, she's facing west of my window. Um, the temperature out there can go between 65 to 75 degrees, depending. Right now it's only 65 right now because it's kind of cold right now here in Southern California. But yeah, I do have another care collab that I did in the past with the same one, but I believe I show the care collab that have is showing the other two orchids that I have lost, the other path or slipper orchids. But they're easy to grow. I would recommend them for beginners. Um, just water them as needed. Don't let it dry out. Don't let the media dry out. Feed them, sparingly. That's my recommendation. Temperature wise, go, you know, above 50 degrees. Um, they can grow anywhere, just about. I used to run my humidifier, but I don't need it here because she's staying in the kitchen, and the kitchen is one of the more humid area in this house that I live in right now with my parents. But yeah, that's all I can say about this. If you're interested in watching the other CARECOLLABS that are participating, please check them out. A lot of them are more knowledgeable than I am. I consider myself still kind of in the beginner stage. I know Ed's Orchids. He's really knowledgeable about PAF. Um, so does the others that I named off. So if you have a particular environment, you can match up with other orchid growers on here that are participating. Check them out. You never know, you may learn something that you know that can match up with the area that you live in, because everyone here, I think there's about 20 of us here, we live around the world. We have Australia, we have Finland, we have Spain. Ninja Orchids, she's in the south of Spain, I believe. We have, you know, Trisha's Orchid, she lives on the west coast, Colorado, and I believe Danielle's Orchids Ranch, she lives in the upper east side of United States. So yeah, you have selection of orchid growers that are growing these type of orchids around the world. So go ahead and check them out, and I will list all the orchids participator right below this description box if you're so inclined to, check them out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I was a help to you guys as far as growing these slipper orchids. And please stay safe, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And as always, happy growing, everyone. Bye.